Hello, well my name's Harry Rogers, and in this film I'm going to be showing you how I've made a hot foil stamping machine. And these are very useful for leather crafters if you want to perhaps put your logo onto something or your maker's name. It makes it look very professional. You get a nice gold blocking with your name, etc. nicely embossed in there. Now, to do hot foil you need to have pressure and you need to have heat. So the pressure gives you the impression in the leather, the heat melts the gold foil into that impression. So that's what I've got in this machine here. And I think perhaps before I go any further explaining about how I've built this machine, I ought to give a safety warning, and that is to say you're handling electricity here making this, and there's a potential not only to electrocute yourself but to burn your house down. So only try this sort of thing if you feel qualified and competent. I am not a qualified engineer, I'm not a qualified electrician, so I'm showing you as an illustration of what can be done. But if you decide to do anything, you do it at your own risk and you get it checked out by a qualified professional. Because as I say, I am not. So please don't do as I say, but I thought it would be helpful to pop something up to show you the kind of thing you can investigate if you're interested. So anyway, let's get back and I'll show you more about how this works. So give a little view, a little turn around of the actual machine. That's what it looks like. Let's just run through the components on it. So as I say, to do hot foil you need pressure, so that's why it's all mounted on a 1 ton arbor press, a standard arbor press. And you need heat. Now to get the heat I'm using a couple of tube heaters. These are the kind you get in some coffee makers and you can buy them off the internet. I'm using a couple of 200 watt heaters, which is probably overkill, but it does work quite well. And they are embedded in this aluminium block, so I've had to drill a couple of very accurate 10mm holes to take the tube heaters. What then happens is the tube heaters heat up this aluminium block, and underneath it I have screwed a little type case, a slip case of printer's type. And I've got ordinary printer's type in there, it's actually brass type, and that's what I use to make my impressions. So it's in a standard printer slip case and it's bolted into this block with these thumb screws. What will happen is the heater's heated up. There's something called a thermocouple in the side of the block, and that's basically to stop it overheating, because if you just left those heaters on it would probably all catch fire. So what the thermocouple does, it measures the temperature here, and then in this box I've got a module called a PID, a PID, and that very accurately measures that temperature and works a relay also in the box, which switches the electricity on and off. So if it gets too hot, the thermocouple says, oh, too hot, and the relay and the PID, it switches the power off until it cools down. It continues to measure the heat. Once it gets to a set temperature, it switches back on again. So that's what gives me my heat there. Let's show you inside the box. So this unit here is the PID, and you can buy these off the likes of Amazon along with the relay and the thermocouple all as a complete set, and they're very reasonably priced. And this particular one is called an Inkbird ITC 100VH. So I'll just say that again, an Inkbird, INKBIRD, ITC 100VH. And it's just mounted into plastic box, on off switch, power in, the relay, huge heat sink on the relay, and then out goes the thermocouple, the heating element, wires, etc. But that's all there is in that box of electronics, and it's just a standard IP66 rated plastic box, literally bolted onto my arbor press, and I've got earth wires everywhere. With the arbor press, the only modification I made to that was I welded using my little hobby welder this T-cross piece onto the down bar and then bolted my aluminium block to it using that. So fairly straightforward construction if you're happy messing around with these things. I'll show you it in use next, so I'll switch it on. So got a little display here that comes up, and I've got the temperature at the moment set to 85, so what will happen is that will ramp up to 85, it will shoot beyond, and then it will cool down and adjust, so it'll just stabilise. As I say, I think I could manage with slightly smaller heaters, and then I'll do a little impression to show you. The sort of thing it does though is that sort of thing. So the unit's stabilising down now near the target temperature of 85. I have a piece of leather, I have a piece of gold foil. Pop the gold foil on the leather, and then press down. Nice and hard, lift it up, and then peel away. And there you have it. A nice accurate bit of gold blocking. You can obviously get your logos milled up. I mean, here's one of my Bucklehurst logos, so I could gold block that if I wanted to. And you can obviously get different types of type and different fonts, etc. to put in type carriers to load in to the actual unit. Just worth saying actually, if you go onto the Inkbird website, you can download a very good manual which is actually quite well written, and it gives you wiring diagrams showing you how the unit works and how to wire it up, and I found that very useful. The unit will come with a wiring diagram and some instructions, but they're not very clear, but if you go onto their actual website you'll find some nice clear instructions. Well, I hope you found that useful, and as I say, just to stress, safety wise, plenty of scope to electrocute or burn down, so do take care if you're going to do a project like this. Only attempt it if you feel you're capable, and get your work checked, because as I say, I am not a qualified electrician, and it is obviously dangerous to do something and not know what you're doing. So with that little warning, thanks so much for watching and hope you enjoyed. Bye bye then.